What if I told you that the biggest enemy in your life isn't the outside world, but the mother you still carry within your unconscious? Pause. Thoughtful expression. Deep gaze. Sounds shocking, right? Maybe even a little unsettling. Most men, and I was certainly one of them for a long time, spend their entire lives avoiding this uncomfortable truth. We navigate relationships, careers, personal challenges, always feeling like something is off. Something is holding us back, but we can't quite put our finger on it. I remember this one evening sitting alone scrolling through social media and just feeling this profound sense of discontent. It wasn't about any specific problem, just a lingering emptiness, a pattern of repeating the same mistakes in relationships, a constant urge to prove myself even when I'd already succeeded. It hit me then, this wasn't just bad luck or external circumstances. There was something deeper, something inside me driving these patterns. That night, I started asking myself, where does this actually come from? Why do I keep ending up here? It was the first time I truly began to question the unseen forces at play, forces that, as I would later discover, were intricately tied to the most fundamental relationship in my life. And what I found, well, it was a wake-up call I never knew I needed. That realization, that there's something deeper, something internal driving our patterns, is exactly where we need to start. Because that lingering sense of feeling stuck, that frustration of repeating the same mistakes in relationships, or constantly feeling unfulfilled despite achieving external success. All of that can often be traced back to something profound that Carl Jung termed the mother complex. Think of the mother complex not as your actual mother, but as an invisible prison. It's a system of unconscious beliefs, expectations, and emotional patterns that we absorbed often non-verbally from the image of our mother figure, whether she was physically present or absent, ideal or flawed, during our earliest, most formative years. This image, this Mother Imago, becomes internalized. It's like an operating system running silently in the background of our minds, shaping how we see ourselves, how we relate to others, and even the very direction of our lives. One of the most insidious aspects of this complex is what's called invisible loyalty. It's this unconscious agreement to stay emotionally tied to, perhaps even suffer in similar ways to our mother, or to uphold her unfulfilled dreams simply out of a deep primal need for connection and belonging. For men, this can manifest powerfully as Anima projection. Projecting the internalized mother image onto other women in their lives, seeking out partners who fulfill that unconscious role, often leading to repetitive and unfulfilling relationship dynamics. I used to live under expectations that I didn't even realize weren't my own, as if I was perpetually trying to achieve something forever out of reach. It felt like I was constantly striving for a certain kind of approval or a specific version of success that was never truly for me. It was like I was following a script written by someone else unconsciously, and it was draining me. This complex subtly yet powerfully shapes our relationships, our very identity, and ultimately our destiny until we bring it into the light. This invisible prison of the mother complex then leads us to explore something even deeper, the D archetype within. Specifically, what Jung termed the shadow mother archetype. It's vital to understand that we're not talking about your biological mother here. We're talking about the Mother Imago, the internalized image of your mother that was formed in your psyche during your earliest, most impressionable years. This imago isn't a perfect reflection of who your mother actually was, but rather how a child's perception filtered through their undeveloped understanding recorded her. For instance, if you had a mother who was overly controlling, even with the best intentions, the internalized Mother Imago might make you, as an adult man, constantly second-guess yourself, struggle with decision-making, and perpetually seek external validation because you never developed a strong sense of inner authority. You might feel a constant pressure to conform, to be perfect, fearing disapproval if you step out of line. Or perhaps your mother was emotionally absent or distant. In that case, your mother imago might lead you to unconsciously seek constant approval from women in your life, endlessly pursuing recognition to fill that early void, or conversely, to avoid deep intimacy altogether to prevent potential abandonment. This unseen archetype, this internalized shadow mother, silently yet profoundly shapes your very identity and your ability to feel whole. It influences your relationships, your career choices, even your general sense of self-worth, without you consciously realizing it. For me, when I was little, I thought, that's just how the world is. I didn't know that the way I perceived my mother had created an internal map, a map I'd been following for years without realizing it. This map, crafted from a child's limited perspective, becomes our default navigation system in adulthood, often leading us down paths that don't serve our true growth or happiness. Understanding this distinction between your actual mother and the internalized imago is a crucial step towards true self-awareness and healing. This internal map, this mother imago once formed, becomes the lens through which we experience the world, often leading to a phenomenon known as invisible loyalty. It's a powerful unconscious pull that keeps us tethered to the emotional patterns, relationship dynamics, and even the unresolved pain of our family of origin, particularly those connected to the mother figure. We literally loop back to what's familiar, even if what's familiar is pain or limitation. Have you ever found yourself in a fantastic relationship only to suddenly self-sabotage it? Or maybe you've reached a new level of success in your career, but then you feel an inexplicable urge to pull back, to dim your light. This could be invisible loyalty at play. It's as if unconsciously you're saying, my mother suffered, so I must suffer too, at least a little bit. Or, my family never achieved X, so if I achieve X, I'm somehow betraying them. It's an unspoken, often unrecognized vow to not outgrow, out-succeed, or out-heal those who came before us, especially our primary caregivers. For me, I always wondered why I kept getting into similar types of relationships, why I kept feeling unworthy of happiness. I'd notice a pattern where I'd attract partners who mirrored certain dynamics from my childhood, or I'd create scenarios that led to the same emotional outcomes. Even when things were going well, an inner voice would whisper, "This can't last. You don't deserve this." It was this deep-seated feeling of not being allowed to be happier or more successful than what felt normal for my family lineage. When I looked back, I realized I was unconsciously repeating an old, worn-out script from a previous generation. This realization was both unsettling and incredibly liberating. It showed me that these weren't just random misfortunes. They were manifestations of an unconscious loyalty, a script I was blindly following. Breaking free from this isn't about disrespecting your past, but about honoring your own potential for a different future. Breaking free from these invisible loyalties and unconscious scripts is a profound journey, and it brings us to perhaps the most crucial solution, not just in this discussion, but in the broader context of healing the mother-wound, the process of becoming your own mother. Now let's be clear, this isn't about blaming your actual mother for anything, nor is it about disrespecting her. This is about taking responsibility for your own inner world. It's about recognizing that the nurturing, the unconditional acceptance, the safety you may have lacked or perceived to lack in your early life, you now have the power to provide for yourself. This is the profound process of integrating the wounded feminine within. Again, this isn't about gender. It's about embracing the qualities of receptivity, intuition, nurturing, and emotional attunement within your own psyche. For many men especially, these feminine aspects of the self might have been suppressed or devalued. To heal, you must learn to give yourself the validation you sought from external sources, to soothe your own inner child, and to hold space for your own emotions just as a good mother would for her child. It's about building an inner sanctuary where you are unconditionally loved and accepted by yourself. This process is what I call the sacred pain of separating from inherited emotional roles. It's a painful yet meaningful process where I had to soothe my inner child myself, tell myself, you are good enough, you deserve to be loved, and you are safe to be yourself. It's painful because it means letting go of old patterns, even if they were familiar and offered a twisted sense of security. It means confronting the grief of what wasn't and consciously choosing to provide it for yourself now. It's about reparenting yourself, giving your inner child the unconditional love boundaries and emotional attunement it needs to thrive. This deep internal work is the true path to healing and wholeness. It means saying, I will not wait for someone else to make me feel worthy. I will cultivate that worthiness from within. That process of becoming your own mother, of integrating the wounded feminine within, is where true healing begins. It's the courageous act of choosing a new path, of actively deciding to end the pattern that has held you back. This isn't about blaming. It's about breaking the cycle and becoming the healed ancestor your lineage needs. So how do we practically achieve this inner peace and emotional freedom? First, embrace self-reflection. This is non-negotiable. Dedicate time, even if it's just 10-15 minutes a day, to truly sit with your thoughts and emotions. What are your recurring patterns? What triggers you? Journaling, meditation, or simply quiet contemplation can reveal so much. For me, regularly journaling about my reactions and feelings helped me see the invisible threads connecting my current struggles to past experiences. It was like suddenly understanding the source code of my own behavior. Second, learn to then set healthy boundaries. This is perhaps the most challenging, yet most liberating step for many men. It means learning to say no assertively and respectfully without guilt. Remember the example of helping my friend move house. That was a small, early step in setting a boundary. I learned to say no to requests that drained me, starting with small, low-stakes situations. It felt incredibly uncomfortable at first, like I was breaking some unspoken rule, but each no that honored my energy was a resounding yes to myself. Boundaries aren't walls. They're property lines that protect your inner peace and personal space. Third, consider seeking professional support. Therapy or counseling can provide invaluable guidance in navigating these complex inner landscapes. A good therapist, especially one familiar with Jungian concepts, can help you identify your specific Mother Imago and provide tools for integration. Don't view it as a sign of weakness, but of profound strength and a serious commitment to your well-being. It's investing in yourself in the deepest way possible. Fourth, cultivate self-compassion. You've been carrying this burden often unconsciously for a long time. Forgive yourself for past mistakes and the ways you might have unconsciously perpetuated these patterns. Treat yourself with the same kindness, patience, and understanding you would offer a dear friend going through a difficult time. It's a process of gentle nurturing, not harsh self-criticism. You are learning, and healing takes time. Finally, if it feels right and safe, consider recalibrating your relationship with your actual mother. This doesn't mean condoning past hurts or even requiring a dramatic confrontation. It might simply mean changing your internal view of her, recognizing her as a complex human being with her own limitations, her own wounds, and her own struggles that likely influenced her actions. Sometimes understanding her story, her own Mother Imago, can bring immense clarity and release for you. It's about letting go of the child's desperate need for a perfect mother and relating as one adult to another from a place of sovereignty and understanding. My personal mantra throughout this challenging yet incredibly rewarding process has become, equipping myself with knowledge and tools is how I gradually broke free. I am not my wound. I am my own healer. This means actively seeking understanding and applying practical steps to heal. You are not defined by what happened to you. You are the one who has the power to heal it. Learning to be your own healer, to become your own mother, is the ultimate act of self-sovereignty. But make no mistake, until you face the internalized truth about the mother in your unconscious, until you bring that hidden Mother Imago into the light, you will likely remain trapped in cycles that keep you from your fullest potential. The goal here isn't to forgive anyone for past hurts. That's a personal journey if it happens at all. But to achieve inner freedom and profound peace. It's about breaking inherited patterns and claiming a life that truly belongs to you. This path, I won't lie, is not always easy. It demands courage, vulnerability, and a willingness to sit with discomfort. But it is unequivocally the only path to a life of true self-actualization, where you are empowered, whole, and genuinely connected to yourself and others. So, I invite you. Have you ever felt these unconscious influences? What has been the hardest part for you in facing them? Share your story, your insights, your struggles, and your triumphs in the comments below. Your vulnerability creates a space for others to heal, and together we can build a community of support. And if this message resonated with you, if it sparked something within you, please give this video a like. Share it with other men you believe need to hear this powerful truth, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future discussions on living a more authentic and fulfilling life. Thank you for being here, for doing the deep work.